at bottom, it really doesn't matter. I think the establishment in the Democratic Party in Washington is trying to wield its control and keep the states under their big fat thumb. In effect, I think we're going to vote, and they'll be very embarrassed.
Embarrassed in what way?
Because of the turnout. I think they expect us to be cowed. We're not. We're going to vote.
I'm disappointed and hope very much that a compromise will somehow be reached that will enable the candidates to be able to campaign here and that the votes would count in terms of the accumulating delegates early on. I have no question that the votes will count at the convention, but by then the candidates will already have been chosen. But the primary is still important because all those voters on February 5th will certainly be looking at the headlines as to who did well here in Miami and the rest of the state of Florida.
I hope that something good will come out of all this, and that the country can now focus on the fact that our primary nomination system is flawed nationwide, and when you have 2 or 3 or 4 small states being the major influence in determining who the nominee is going to be, that's inherently wrong. That system can be changed and made a fair system, give all the country a fair shot. And that's something that's going to take a while to accomplish.
Are we going to be able to get Florida Democratic voters to the polls on primary day under these conditions?
I certainly hope so. We're going to have a primary, we're going to have nominees on the ballot, candidates on the ballot, and people have a chance to make their selections. So at least we'll all know who the choice is.
I have confidence that we'll be able to work out a solution before those votes are finally cast in January. Both parties are really seeking to disenfranchise the voters. I mean, the Republican Party has said that they will not count half, and of course the Democratic Party is talking about not counting the votes that we cast. But I'm hopeful in the negotiations that Senator Nelson and some of the others are doing that we'll reach some sort of resolution where they will be cast. But certainly Florida voters need to be able to have their votes counted in this election.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm disappointed that my leadership has not reacted in the manner that I would have preferred them to react. But just because you have leadership that's not doing all it should, does not mean that you should have followership that's not doing all that it should. I think that the presence of all of the delegates here are indicative of our commitment to the Democratic Party and the election of Democrats, notwithstanding how difficult it is made for us, even by our own leadership. I'm thinking, too, that we can do something about that, and we will. But first things first, we need to get this election behind us. We need to get people appreciative of the fact that it is most important that we elect a Democrat to the White House. Then we can deal with making sure that our house is in order and is not kept in disarray by people who do not appreciate what we're trying to do here in Florida and what we've had to put up with. Thank you very much.
I'm hoping they're going to change that because I've also sent emails on that too. I disagree with that completely. I don't see where a few states have a right to decide that they can have the voting early, and then if we decide that we want to, like in Florida or any other state, then to be penalized for it and telling us that our votes, we won't have the delegates and taking half of them away and everything. That's for the birds, and I don't approve of that at all. And I've been sending my emails to everybody who will listen, including Senator Nelson.
Thank you very
much. And Martinis.
Now I feel I've already been through it once not having votes counted, so I really have some sensitivity to this. And I admire Senator Nelson and Congressman Alcee Hastings. They filed a suit, and they're doing everything possible to make sure that the votes count, and so I applaud them for that.
Wrong
way. So I think that we need to, especially in Florida, we need to be encouraging people to vote and make sure that they know that, because I will tell you the state of Florida will count the votes, and I believe America will have their votes count on January 29th, and I think the DNC should respect that. And I think all in all, our delegates will be seated in Denver. We're going to rally around our candidate, and we're going to bring a victory for Democrats in 2008.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
My wallet's closed. DNC gets no money from me. Howard D. Oh. Yeah. Okay. How's that? Anything else? I think that we should be counted. We're one of the largest states in the United States, and we should have something to say in our next candidates to approve. So I think we should, or they should have been here, and our delegates should be allowed, and we should be counted.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I was contributing money, and I told them, don't expect any more money until you change the vote list.
Well, we hope that we will be able, at the last minute, to be able to vote, because we are really fighting for that, because that's very, very important. We have to be able to vote.
Thank you very much.
I think that this is a squabble between us and the DNC right now based on the rules that have been put in place. However, in saying that, I think Nancy Pelosi said it the best when she had an interview with CNN. Look, she was the chair of the convention in 1984. There was a similar situation. At the end of the day, the Credentials Committee takes over the National Convention, and that Credentials Committee is actually majority of the nomination for the President of the United States. Everything that I can tell you is DNC has 26 votes, candidate has 161. We will be seated in Denver.
But will we have any influence on the selection of the nominee?
Absolutely. If you think about the way the calendar has been set up over the last couple of weeks, and in particular as it continues to change, we will be the 5th state to vote in this country, and that will be on January 29th. The next big time that people get to vote across the country is 20 on February 5th. I think we're going to send a very loud voice and let people know what Florida's thinking, and I think they'll be listening to us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.